of a two-part series on Google Shopping. My name's Emma.
My name's James.
We're on the AdWords team here in Dublin, Ireland, and today we just want to run through getting started with Google Shopping with you. So if you guys have ever searched for something to buy on Google, you might have come across these ads. They show you a picture of the product you want to buy, along with other relevant product details like price and the shop you might want to buy it from. Well, these are our shopping ads. And if you have an online shop and want to engage with those customers who are searching for your products online, shopping is your chance. What we're going to run through today is, first of all, the basic website checks you need to do before getting started, setting up your Merchant Center account, and then also creating and uploading the data feed. Now, if you guys are listening live, and we hope there are some of you guys out there, feel free to post questions in the Q&A app along the Google Hangouts window there. But for now, I'm going to pass over to my colleague James, who is going to run through, as I said, the website checks.
Fantastic, guys. So before you get started, there are a few things that are going to be required, okay? So first off, you're going to need a fully functional site, and I guess this goes without saying. So this will be an online store where people can basically go to view your products, add them to the cart if they're actually interested in buying them, and then actually go on to proceed to actually complete a purchase on your site online. So I'm just going to quickly run through a 5-point checklist on what will be required of your site if you're to use it in Google Shopping. So first off, you're going to need to provide clear contact information, and by this I mean a physical address, a telephone number, and/or an email address. Secondly, the site will need to display a clear returns policy. It will also need to display clear billing terms and conditions. The site's a checkout process will need to be secure also. So what I mean by this is SSL secured with a valid SSL certificate. So if payments and transactions are to be processed, or if personal information on users is going to be collected, this will all need to be secure. The checkout process will also need to be complete on top of this. And by this I mean if someone is to add an item to the cart, that person will need to be able to proceed to actually complete an online payment and purchase the product online. So I'm going to just pass you back over to Emma now, and she's going to run through the setting up of a Merchant Center account.
Great. Well, thanks so much for that, James. So we have the website ready and set to go. Obviously, the next step is actually setting up your Merchant Center account. This is where you can upload and manage your product inventory. So I'm going to use screen share a little bit here just to get started, and we're going to run through the steps. So let me just grab our laptop here. And first of all, what you'll want to do before we actually start the screen share, if you will type Google Merchant Center into Google, you'll see it come up as the first result there for you. Now, if you want to get to it directly, just type in google.com/merchants. Once you're on that page, you will see a sign-in button in the very top right corner of the page. When you click on that, it will take you to this page here. So what you can see is that it's asking you for the relevant information. Now, first of all, it's asking us to select our country. So we're just going to select Ireland here, if we can find it. There it is. Okay, and now we need the name of your store. So we're just going to pop a name in here. Now, what you guys need to remember is that this really must match what you have on your website, because it's what's going to show next to your products. Website URL, what's important here is that it must start with HTTP or HTTPS. So let me just pop an example in here. Great. Now I've clicked something that I shouldn't have, so let me just pop back in here. Scrolling down here, we just now need to enter in a primary contact. So we can see that my email is automatically popped in there. Now this is just going to link to the site verification, which is the next step we're going to go through. So I'm just going to scroll down and click continue. And let's see here. Okay, yes, so it's just taking us to accepting terms and conditions. So we click yes, I agree, and continue. And now, the step I mentioned before, verification and claiming. So the reason why this is so important is obviously we need to prove to Google that you have the right to show the product listings from your website. So as you can see here, the most common method is the HTML file upload. So you download this HTML file here. Now either yourself or your webmaster will need to upload that to your site. And there are various methods available to you guys. It's completely up to you. And you can do it via FTP or shell access, amongst others. Now, once this is done, you might still notice that your website is unclaimed, but don't worry about that at all, okay? That's the next step in the process here first. Pop back into your Merchant Center account. Now, I'm just going to pop the laptop back up here because this is simple enough. So popping back into your Merchant Center, you just hit Settings. You'll see a red Edit Settings button. Clicking on that, you'll see an ability to click a box where it says, I want to verify and claim my website. Now, once that's all saved, this shows Merchant Center can then confirm that you own your website. So I know there were a good few steps there, guys, but we now have the Merchant Center account set up. What I now want to do is pass over to James and really pay attention here because he's going to talk through creating and uploading the data feed, which is hugely, hugely important to your shopping account.
Fantastic, Emma. That was really clear. So with respect to the creation and uploading of a data feed, as Emma has alluded to, this is very important. A data feed is essentially your product inventory, so a catalog of all of your product's information. Generally speaking, when we're talking to merchants, we will advise them to use a .txt format when uploading a data feed, just because it's the simplest method. It requires the least technical expertise. When creating and uploading a .txt formatted data feed, you can use any spreadsheet editor, but we recommend that you use Google Spreadsheets. So today, in order to give you a kind of a demonstration or an example, we're going to create and upload a data feed based off of a small inventory. You can base your data feed off of a large inventory as well, but it's just for simplicity's sake that we're doing this. You will be able to manually input pretty easily and quickly yourselves. So if I'm able to, I'm not sure if I will be, just due to the fact that this is unclaimed. I'm going to try and maybe demonstrate this. So I'm just going to skip.
Perfect. It's
okay,
taking us in.
Great. So I'm in here now. So if we're just going to take it for granted that you've already verified and claimed your website, as you can see here, we're already logged in. That is obviously the first step that you're going to need to take, is to log into your Merchant Center account. You're then going to need to navigate to the feed section, okay? And as you can see, we have a shiny new account here. There's no feeds, so you're going to need to click on the plus data feed red tab, okay? And that loads up. Okay, fantastic. So first off, now we need to select the mode, and we're going to select standard, okay? And it's already selected for me. The feed type, so we're just going to select products. The next step is selecting the target country, and as I deal a lot with the UK, I'm going to select United Kingdom. That's where I want to sell my products, and English is obviously the relevant language that's already input for me. And the feed name, I'm just going to call it James, because that's my first name, and I'm going to click continue. You mightn't follow that logic when you're creating your account. So the way I'm going to upload my feed is through Google Spreadsheets, as I've already alluded to. That's already selected for me here. I want to click on continue. So I'm going to need to create an upload schedule. So this is important, okay? Generally speaking, we advise people to use a daily upload schedule. An upload schedule should reflect how often your inventory is going to change. So we always want our data feed to be up to date. So that's all fine. It's set to daily currently. I'm just going to save that. And I'm going to accept. Bear with me, guys. It's just loading. Well, while that's loading, I'm just going to maybe run through one or two things about inputting the products. So eventually what should happen here is that a spreadsheet template should just open in a new window. You're going to need to navigate to this spreadsheet template and start to enter a lot of information about your products. So you're going to see product attribute examples already input into the spreadsheet. What you want to do is delete these and start to enter your own product information. What's important to note firstly is that for each product you're going to have to enter a separate row, and you're going to need to input information for each column in that row. Secondly, there's going to be a header on top of each column. It's vitally important you don't delete any of these headers, because the feed will not be accepted if you do this. Thirdly and finally, a lot of attributes are going to be in green here, and what this means is that these attributes are required, so you're going to need to input information for these attributes. I'm going to quickly just run through some of the more important attributes now. So title and description. So with respect to title and description, what's vitally important is that you make sure that it's clear and concise, and that it's very relevant to what someone might search for if they're looking for your specific products. Secondly, with respect to price and availability, which is something that myself and Emma and our colleagues would deal with a lot, people often have problems with this. It's vitally important that your price and your availability matches up between your data feed and your landing page. Because as you can imagine yourself, if someone sees an ad with a certain price and a certain availability status, such as in stock, and then they land on your landing page and they find that the price is higher and that the item is actually out of stock, this leads to a bad user experience, which we both want to avoid, obviously. Finally, I just want to touch on product attributes, unique product identifiers, which all products have. So say, for instance, an ISBN for a book or a UPC code for shoes. Also, on top of this, if you're selling products outside of the US, or if you're selling certain kinds of products such as apparel, you're going to need to include more information and detail. And you can get this information by navigating to the glossary in our help center. And I'm just going to quickly screen share and show you how to find this. So you'll just need to search for product feed. 1 second. Specifications.
This is a really good detail.
Google Merchant Center. This is brilliant. I always go here when I'm looking for information myself. So you just click in here. It's as easy as that. You're going to need to select your relevant country, and it'll give you an array of information and a lot of information on top of what I've already described. It's all relevant and it's all useful. Okay, fantastic. So once you have all of this set up, so you've created your data feed, you've uploaded it, you've input all your product information, you can navigate to the Diagnostics tab within Merchant Center to find out if you have any errors or if there's any problems. And that's a very useful area. It pinpoints any issues that you may be having. And then you're done. So the final step in the process is to actually create a Google Shopping campaign, and we will be going into this in major detail in next week's Hangout on Air. So make sure you tune in for that. So that's all from me. I'm just going to pass you back to Emma, who's going to conclude today.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do a quick recap there. I also just want to reiterate James' point there on the Diagnostics tab. So obviously he's gone into a huge amount of detail, and thanks for that, James, on how to upload your data feed, how to create it. The Diagnostics tab is a great way of catching errors before we catch them. So I'd definitely recommend looking at that. But to give a quick recap of what we've actually looked at today, so we went through the website checks you need to do before getting started. We also then went into setting up a Merchant Center account. And lastly, James gave us the details on creating and uploading a data feed. Now, as he said, we really do hope you'll join us next week for setting up a Google Shopping campaign. We also really want to share our optimization techniques with you guys, because we want to help you guys make the most out of the money that you're spending on Google Shopping. Now, before we go, we just want to double check if there have been any questions, if any of you guys have logged in. But actually, a colleague of mine has just said to me there that we don't seem to have any. Now, if you do have any after this, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But apart from that, we hope to see you guys next week. We hope you found this useful. And bye for now.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.